YouTube? Welcome back to my garage. As promised, I've started another project. As you can see by the top of my bench, I've been getting some good use out of it. I've already screwed it up. I got this door top, solid door from Habitat for Humanity for a top. And the other day, I was gluing this piece and I had it sitting, I believe it was like that. And dummy me didn't think about the glue getting on the table. And I don't know if it'll be able to, I'll try to zoom in on it, but I did a big boo-boo right over here. It peeled the skin of the table up when I tried to pull it off. So it's something else I can fix. But anyway, that's not my project tonight. That's just something that is eating away at me until I get it fixed. I'm that kind of guy. I just see something like that and it just bugs the hell out of me. But it's a workbench. I guess it won't be the last time something like that happens. Anyway, my project last year, we had a big oak tree in our front yard die, and we had a tree service come out and cut it down for us because it was so huge I was ready to fall on the house or something if I tried to do it myself. Anyway, we got this big stump right out in the middle of the yard now. It's probably about maybe 2.5 to 3 inches up from the grass level. So my wife and I were wondering what we could do besides digging a big huge hole in the front yard to get rid of the stump. So we decided that we're going to put a windmill on top of that stump. This is what it's going to look like. I got these plans online. It's called U-Build, created by Dave Runyon. I'll try to zoom in on this when I edit this video, but that's what it'll look like. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it on top of that stump. It probably won't cover up the whole stump, but by the time we put some flowers and stuff around it and decorate it, you'll never know there was a stump even there. I got kind of a little bit of a start on it. It's got a bearing kit that I ordered separately from the plans. So the blades on the windmill will spin, and then also it's got a Lazy Susan that goes on the back of this, and so this whole piece here spins, and so the whole fan assembly will spin with the wind, and then the bearings will turn the fan. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I'm going to just videotape a little bit as I go and kind of show you my progress. I'm working on the fans right now. I've got this built. I've got the bearings set in the wood. The bearings go right here. This actually sits like this, and the fan spins this way. This is like the gear housing for the fan. So anyway, that's going to be it for now. I'm going to turn off this camera, and I'll try to film a little bit as I'm working on it, and like I did that last video, and just kind of talk as I got the fans and stuff going. You wouldn't be able to hear me anyway. Plus the machines and stuff are real loud, and my dust control and stuff like that. So we're going to try it again like I did last time. All right. All right. Let's do an update on my windmill. I've been working on the blades for the windmill. Which consists of 4 pieces. You have the outside bottom of it, and then on the inside you have 2 1/2-inch smaller ones, and then on the top you have one that looks like this. It's got a dowel cut into the wood, and it goes into a block. The block actually gets attached to a Lazy Susan on the bottom here, and you drill the 3/4-inch holes in the block, and that's what holds the blades to the gear mechanism. The problem is I don't really have a lathe or anything to cut that dowel. It's supposed to be cut 1 3/4 inch deep and 3/4 inch in diameter. Now this is a 3/4 inch piece of wood that the plans call for. So it was very hard, as you can probably see. I'll zoom in. It still has a flat part because this is actually 3/4. The only other thing I could do is go less than 3/4, but then I would probably lose some of my strength. So as long as it fits in a little hole into that block, it should, and I can glue it down and stuff, it should be fine. Okay, let me go through the steps, and I'm going to use some pictures on this section. Let me go through some steps of what I did to achieve that dowel. The first thing I did is I went over to the bandsaw, and as you can see, the bandsaw I put at a 45-degree angle, and I made cuts. I used a stop block, so the cuts would all be the same depth, and I just cut off all the corners of the wood, and made like a I guess you could call it like an octagon or something like that. But I cut off the corners and got it as close to the 3/4 inch diameter as I could. Took off as much material as possible. And then from there, I made a homemade lathe a while back. I believe it was actually my first video on this channel. You can still view it if you wish. From Izzy Swan. And I've kept that lathe, and it actually works pretty good. I used a combination of my lathe and the Harbor Freight mini router. So, but I'm going to shut this camera off, and I'll set it up and give you a demo of the bandsaw, and then me operating that lathe. So that's what we're going to do next. Alrighty, over at the bandsaw, I'm going to cut those corners off to remove as much material as I possibly can before I go to the lathe. I used a spacer because the board is not square. I used a spacer to get to the corners on the long side. Sped the video up so it wouldn't take up so much time. There's not a whole lot to see, just me at the bandsaw. Alright, I think we got enough material off there. We should be able to put it on the lathe. It's just a lot easier to get that started on the lathe if you don't have square corners. So as you can see, I cut off about as much as I could. Okay, I'm at the lathe. I'm going to take one end of the material and put it in the stationary pin in the back. It just kind of slides in there and stays in place. Two bearings hold the pin onto the back board there. The front pin is threaded, and put the pin in there and then start the drill, and it'll screw that threaded pin into the material and move forward as it does. Once I have the drill set where I want it, then there's a knob on the back that tightens down and keeps everything in place. Using my router with a 1/2 inch bit, and that board in the front where the clamps are is going to be like a fence. I'll be holding the router up against that and advancing the bit just a little bit at a time into the material. I'm not going to take off a lot of material at once. I'm just going to take it kind of slow, and I'll move the camera around to the front so you can see a better view of the lathe and the router working together. I have a stop clamped down to that fence so that when I move back on the router, it stops at the same place each time. I don't have to worry about not starting at the same point every time. I'm only taking material off as I move the router towards the drill. I'm not going both ways with the cut. Like I said, I have no way of measuring it as I cut. So I'm going to take my calipers, set it at 3/4 of an inch, and then measure the material. And as you can see, I still got quite a bit of material to take off yet. I don't want to take too much material off, otherwise it'll get sloppy in the hole, or I'll have to jerry-rig some shims or something to so I want to get as close to 3/4 as possible. Like I said, I'm only taking off a little material at a time and then checking it. I sped up the video here a little bit to save some time. Oops, had a slight malfunction with my lathe. Kept stopping. At first I thought the chuck on the drill press come loose. But after checking the tightness of the chuck, I realized that the knob on the back that holds that whole assembly down came loose. So I re-loosened it. There's the knob I was talking about that holds that whole assembly in place. Eventually I want to put 2 of them there. I don't think one is enough. And I just needed to drill the threaded pin back into the material and then tighten that knob down. And that's all it was. I don't know if I didn't have it tight enough or I forgot to tighten it or what, but as you can see, we're back in business. Okay, I advanced it a little bit. I'm almost to 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to take my calipers and check. And I'm perfect. There's no slop at all in that. It's almost exactly 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to be happy with that. Anyway, that's how I did the dowels on that material. This is going to end part 1 of this video. It's probably going to be about 3 parts. And subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying these videos. If you like this video, give me a like, play some comments. I haven't had any comments on any of these videos yet, and I'd like to hear from y'all and what y'all think. Anyway, I'll film some more when I get to my next step.